time on how I got robbed by my sister's boyfriend. So when school started, my sister entered 11th grade and I entered 7th. She was excited because my parents said that she was allowed to date when she got to her junior year. And immediately she got with this dude named Tony. My parents didn't know much about him, but I knew him because he would be in the neighborhood with his gang while me and my friends were playing outside. He used to hotwire cars. He was in and out of juvie. And one time I heard he jumped a kid named Alexander because he had the newest Jordans. I was so confused on why my sister wanted him, but I ignored it. 1 to 2 months go by and Halloween comes up. So me and my friends get dressed up to get candy. I was a ghost. I know, cliche, but when you're in the hood, you gotta do what you gotta do. When we got done trick-or-treating, it was time to go home. Then out of nowhere, a group of guys ran up on us and was trying to take our candy. So I pushed one of the guys away from us and someone pulls a strap out on me. And it's Tony. Part 2 is coming soon. Part 2 of how I got robbed by my sister's boyfriend. Like I said, a group of guys were after us and tried to take our Halloween candy. When I pushed one of the guys away, someone pulls a strap out on me. And it's Tony. I was so scared at that moment, I literally peed my pants. I really thought that was my last day. Then he snatches a blanket off of me and was like, "Oh, so you must think you tough." And I said, "No." And he says, "Tell your boys to share. That's all we want." When we gave them our candy, they ran off with it. And me and my friends were so upset because it took us 4 hours to collect all of that candy. When I finally get back home, my sister sees me and asks, "Where's your candy and why is your pants wet?" So I tried to explain to her what happened. Then out of nowhere, Tony pops up and walks into our living room. I look at him in shock because this man literally held a gun to my head and now he's in my house. He walks up to me and says, "Here, you can have my candy." And it's literally the same candy he stole from me earlier. And I just stared at him. My sister's like, "Take the candy, stop acting like a weirdo." When I take the candy, she hugs and kisses him and says, "That's so sweet of you."
Tell me why, when my mom went to Costco, she was using my dad's Costco card and had his picture on it. And we were about to pay for our stuff at the register and the cashier goes, "Oh, who's that guy?" And my mom goes, "Oh, that's my husband." And the guy goes, "Well, if he's not here, you can't pay for your stuff." And my mom goes, "Oh yeah, he's in the bathroom." Me knowing, well, that's a lie. And the guy goes, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll wait for him to come back." And my mom goes, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom and go get him, okay?" And I'm like confused because my dad's not with us. She goes to the bathroom and she comes back with a stranger, an Asian guy who's just a stranger. She tells the cashier, "Oh, this is my husband." My mom really went to the restroom, asked a stranger to pretend to be her husband, and the cashier let us pay. And she goes, "Well, white people can't tell because all Asians look alike to them."
This one time when I was little, I thought I could talk to trees. Because I had no friends, and I used to sit by them and say things, and one day I was talking to my tree friend called Kevin, and this girl went up to me and said, "Are you talking to that tree, freak?" And I started crying and hugged onto the tree, and while she was laughing, one of the branches fell on the girl's head. Thanks, Kevin.
You wouldn't believe what I found in my neighbor's basement. Story time. So when I was 11 years old, I lived in Georgia. We had this neighbor, his name was Ed. Everyone called him Uncle Ed. He was the coolest neighbor ever. He bought snacks for the whole neighborhood. He let everyone come to his house and jump on the trampoline. I don't know why he had a trampoline because he had no kids. So one afternoon in the summertime, we were jumping on his trampoline in the backyard and we got really thirsty. So I told my friend, I'm going to knock on the door and see if Uncle Ed will bring out some soda or some lemonade. So I start knocking on his back door. Mind you, we were in his backyard. So I start knocking on his back door so that he can come to the door, and I was going to ask him for something to drink. So I noticed the door was unlocked. So I came in and I started to call on his name. He didn't respond, but I heard noise coming from the back. So I started to follow the hallway to the back room. But as I looked into the back rooms, I didn't see him. But I still heard the TV, the noise coming from the TV. So I followed the sound of the TV, and it was leading me down the stairs to the basement. So I started to walk down the stairs to the basement. And as I'm going to the basement, I was calling on his name, like, "Uncle Ed, are you down here?" And still no response. So as I was in the basement, I noticed that there was a refrigerator. So I decided to open the refrigerator to see if there was any drinks in there, any cold drinks in there. So as I began to open the refrigerator, you wouldn't believe what I saw. Stay tuned for part 2. Part 2. So as I was opening the refrigerator door, that's when I heard a voice saying, "What are you doing down here in this basement?" And I turned behind me and there was Uncle Ed. And I said, "I was looking for you." He said, "Then why are you going in my fridge?" I said, "We wanted something to drink. We're thirsty." So he said, "Come back upstairs." So we walked back upstairs and he went in his fridge that was upstairs in the kitchen and got us 2 sodas and went outside. As I was getting back on the trampoline after drinking my soda, he looked at me. Very, very evil look. And he said to me, "Do not ever, ever in your life go down to the basement ever again." And I looked like, okay. And I started back jumping on the trampoline. Later that night, it was on my mind that something must have really been important that was in the refrigerator that he didn't want us to see. So I decided to go back over the next day and see what was in that fridge. So I end up telling my older brothers that I think Uncle Ed is hiding something in his fridge in the basement. And I told them that whatever we find, that they can have it if they went down to his basement with me. So we watched him from our window to see when he left. As soon as he left his home, we snuck in his back door, which he left unlocked for some reason, and we end up going down to the basement. So here's the moment I've been waiting for the whole time, to see what was in the fridge. So I end up opening the fridge door, and it was completely empty. It was clean, like too clean. So whatever Mr. Ed had in his basement, in his fridge, he definitely took it out before anyone can find it. And it haunts me to this day. I would never know what was in that fridge.
In my opinion, Miraculous is a tiny bit overrated. I mean, sis, don't get me wrong, I ain't no hater, but it's the same in every freaking episode. You know, someone gets angry, then they get akumatized by Hawkmoth. Then Ladybug and Cat Noir come to the rescue and fight a little bit, and then Ladybug uses her, lucky charm, and then they win. Then Hawkmoth, at the end of every single episode, is like, "I will get you next time, Cat Noir and Ladybug. Just you wait and see. Miss Girl! Well, it better be soon, Hawkmoth. It's been like 100 episodes, and you ain't even been close. Get your game face on. Get your